You really need to hear this because it changed my life and I hope that it changes yours. Pornography is ruining your life. In a world where instant gratification is just a click away, the negative impact of pornography is stealthily seeping into your mind, wreaking havoc on your mind, your body, and your overall well-being. It promises excitement, but it delivers nothing but destruction. But fear not. In just a few moments, you're about to uncover the powerful truth about how watching pornography is ruining your life. And understanding this truth will help release you from pornography's grip. When I was addicted to pornography, I was watching 3 times per day, and my life was falling apart. I was exhausted all the time. I had no ambition. I had no drive. I had no motivation. My perception of myself and the world was completely distorted. I was lonely, desensitized to everything around me. I had no self-esteem. I mean, the list just goes on. It wasn't until I started doing NoFap that I was able to see exactly how watching porn was ruining my life. All of those things I just mentioned, the lack of ambition, the low self-esteem, all of that was completely normal to me. That was my baseline of existence. That shit was not normal. So I want to give you guys a breakdown about how pornography is ruining your brain and subsequently your life using science-based evidence. And hopefully this will be the push that you need to finally get pornography out of your life for good. But before we get into it, did you know that I wrote an ebook? It's a practical guide to a porn-free life, and the good news is it's free. If you're ready to take your first steps towards a porn-free life, head to the link in my bio and download your free copy now. All right, now let's get into the video. The first way porn is ruining your life is it's making you fatigued and exhausted all the time. When you ejaculate or when you bust that nut, right? The body releases a series of neurochemicals and hormones that are designed to induce relaxation and tiredness. There are way too many to list in this video, but the 2 that you want to focus on are endorphins and cortisol. Endorphins are known as the body's natural painkillers, and they play a vital role in the overall experience of euphoria during and after orgasm. These neurotransmitters are produced by the central nervous system and act on the brain's receptors to create a feeling of pleasure and alleviate pain. The rush of endorphins that accompanies orgasm can indeed lead to a sense of deep relaxation and tranquility. However, there's an interesting interplay between endorphins and fatigue that's worth exploring. While endorphins are commonly associated with positive feelings and relaxation, excessive release of these chemicals can also contribute to feelings of fatigue or exhaustion. This is sometimes referred to as the endorphin crash. After the initial rush of pleasure and relaxation wears off, the body experiences a drop in energy levels, which leads to tiredness and exhaustion. Now, in contrast to endorphins, cortisol, which is the hormones that are often associated with stress, cortisol typically experiences a reduction during ejaculation or orgasm. Cortisol is a hormone released by the adrenal glands in response to stress, and orgasms can lead to a decrease in cortisol levels. This reduction in cortisol contributes to the relaxation and sense of well-being that's often experienced after sexual climax, which contributes to a feeling of fatigue and exhaust. So, as you've probably experienced firsthand, wink wink, ejaculation is an intense and very exhausting experience. And now you know exactly why that is. But none of that compares to the second way that pornography ruins your life. But before we continue, I just want to ask, if you're enjoying this video, if you're liking what I'm saying so far, please consider giving this video a thumbs up, turning on the bell notifications, leaving a comment. The more activity YouTube sees on this video, the better it does for me, for the algorithm, and it helps me reach a wider audience. So I really appreciate your support in the form of a like, a comment, turn on bell notifications. Anything you can do would greatly be appreciated. Let's get on to it. The second way that pornography is ruining your life is it is rotting your brain. Yikes. Research now has shown that watching pornography will have adverse effects on your brain. Research has shown that watching pornography over a long period of time can result in the reduction of gray matter area in the brain, which affects the executive functions of the brain. Now, you might be asking yourself, what are those executive functions? Executive functions are a set of cognitive processes that are necessary for the cognitive control of behavior. They're responsible for guiding, directing, and managing cognitive, emotional, and behavioral functions, particularly during active novel problem solving. The executive functions include the following: attentional control, your ability to focus and sustain attention on a task or stimulus. Cognitive inhibition, your ability to suppress irrelevant information and impulses. Inhibitory control, your ability to control your behavior and your impulses. Working memory, your ability to hold and manipulate information in your mind. Cognitive flexibility, your ability to switch between tasks or mental sets. Problem solving, your ability to identify and to solve problems. Self-awareness, your ability to recognize your own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Emotional regulation, your ability to regulate your own emotions and respond appropriately to emotional stimuli. Planning and organization, your ability to plan and organize tasks and abilities. And last but not least, self-monitoring, your ability to monitor your own behavior and adjust it as needed. This is alarming. You lose access to all of those skills the more pornography that you watch. These are skills that we use in our daily lives for reading, working, for making decisions, managing our emotions, and so much more. All of that gets thrown away the more you continue to look at pornography, the more your gray matter volume in the brain decreases. And again, this is just one of the ways that pornography damages your brain. One thing that I didn't even talk about is how it damages the reward system. But I'm gonna have to save that for another video because otherwise this video would get too long. Just know that prolonged pornography consumption has its consequences. And unfortunately, these consequences, they can't be readily felt, right? Like you can't just suddenly feel the gray matter volume in your brain decreasing. It happens subtly and it happens over time. And that's what makes pornography consumption so dangerous. So that's why you want to educate yourself ahead of time. And even still, all of that might not compare to the third way that pornography is ruining your life. But before we get into that, I just want to let you guys know that the Self-Mastery Discord group is completely free and it's open to everybody. So if you want to find a group of like-minded men that you can discuss anything from nofap to goals to accountability, fitness, women, join the Self-Mastery Discord. You can find a link to that in the description. And remember, it is completely free, so sign up. Link is in the bio. Okay, and so the third and final way that pornography is ruining your life is through erectile dysfunction. Yes, the dreaded ED, erectile dysfunction. Let me tell you, I used to try to convince all of my friends to do nofap, to stop looking at porn, and for years they would just brush me off. But the one thing that finally converted all of them was erectile dysfunction. They were with a girl and they just couldn't get it up. Erectile dysfunction is not normal for dudes under the age of 50. And I'm not even sure you're supposed to have it when you're above 50, but I will let you all know when I get there. Frequent pornography use, it changes a person's appetite and their sexual desires over time. It gets to a point where real life sexual encounters just don't sexually arouse them anymore. Do you remember how I said that pornography damages the reward system in the brain? How this works in bro science is the more pornography you watch, the harder it becomes for you to get aroused. So the porn that you used to watch, it doesn't really turn you on anymore. It's much harder to get aroused to that stuff. And so you have to go searching for more and more arousing pornography. But the thing is, what your brain finds arousing sometimes leads you down to some dark, dark roads. Eventually, you've got to start looking at some really, really sick stuff. And I don't say that to judge people, I'm just saying exactly how it is for some people. But you have to look at that stuff to get aroused because the ordinary stuff just doesn't excite you anymore. You're desensitized to it. This means that women and sexual interactions in real life just don't do it for you anymore. Real life connections lose their appeal because the neural pathways in your brain have been rewired to respond primarily to hyperstimulating artificial content like pornography. It's like your brain has been trained to crave the extreme intensity that you get from pornography rather than the authentic emotional and physical connections that you could have in the real world. And this all leads guys to what they call PIED, porn-induced erectile dysfunction. And let me tell you, PIED is NoFap's #1 recruiter of all men. And I just hate to see it. No amount of pornography is worth it. It's just not, guys. All in all, this is just a few of the many ways that pornography is ruining your life. The consequences of watching pornography are not worth it. They're not worth the degradation of your mind and your body. I know that when I learned the science and the inner workings of pornography consumption and the effects that it was having on my brain, I started to take my NoFap journey a lot more seriously. And that's why I made this video. I want this video to scare you away from pornography consumption. That's all I got for you guys right now. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Again, hit the notification bell, comment, anything you can do to bring traction to this video would be greatly appreciated. Thank you for tuning in. I'll talk to you next time. Peace.